What if one of the simplest ways to support healthier-looking hair, stronger nails, and smoother skin was not hidden inside an expensive beauty bottle, but simmering quietly in an old farmhouse kitchen? There is one traditional food that generations of rural families have made from ingredients many modern households throw away. It is inexpensive, practical, and built around the same protein that now appears in costly powders, gummies, drinks, and beauty supplements. That food is a deeply cooked, gelatin-rich broth. Now, before we go any further, Amish communities are not all identical, and there is no single Amish beauty ritual followed by every family. Their practices vary from one community and household to another, but cooking from scratch, wasting as little as possible, and making use of the whole animal are familiar ideas in many traditional farm kitchens. And that approach naturally creates something the modern diet often contains less of: collagen-rich food. Today, we are going to look at why slow-cooked broth may be one of the most useful old-fashioned additions to a modern diet, how collagen actually works, what it can and cannot do, and the easiest way to make this traditional food at home. First, what exactly is collagen? Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. Think of it as part of the structural framework holding many tissues together. It is found in skin, bone, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, and other connective tissues. Your body does not simply take a spoonful of collagen and attach it directly to your face or hair. During digestion, proteins are broken into smaller peptides and amino acids. Your body then uses those raw materials wherever they are needed. Several amino acids appear repeatedly in collagen, particularly glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. Vitamin C is also required for normal collagen production. That means the complete picture is not just collagen alone. Your body also needs enough total protein, vitamin C, minerals, energy, and other nutrients to maintain healthy tissue. As people grow older, the amount and organization of collagen in the skin change. Sun exposure, smoking, inadequate nutrition, and other factors can also affect the way skin looks and feels. This is one reason collagen products have become so popular. You can now find collagen coffee, collagen water, flavored powders, capsules, snack bars, and even beauty candy. Some research suggests that hydrolyzed collagen supplements may modestly improve skin hydration or elasticity after consistent use. But the evidence is not a promise of dramatic transformation, and research specifically showing that collagen reverses hair loss or makes everyone's nails grow rapidly is much more limited. So this is not a miracle cure, and it should never be treated as one. But here is what traditional farmhouse cooking gets right. Instead of purchasing a highly processed product and expecting it to solve everything, it regularly supplies the body with protein-rich foods as part of an overall diet. The Amish-style tip is simple. Stop throwing away the collagen-rich parts of the animal. Bones, joints, connective tissue, chicken skin, wingtips, backs, necks, and feet may not look valuable, but long, moist cooking transforms them. Heat and water gradually convert some of the collagen into gelatin. When a properly made broth becomes firm and jiggly in the refrigerator, that is the clearest sign that you extracted a good amount of gelatin. This is very different from quickly boiling a boneless chicken breast for 20 minutes. Muscle meat is a valuable source of complete protein, but it contains a different amino acid balance from skin and connective tissue. Traditional families were less likely to cook only the neat, boneless cuts sold in plastic packages. A whole chicken could provide a roasted meal, leftover meat, cooking fat, and finally, a pot of broth made from the frame. One animal produced several meals, and very little needed to be discarded. That thrift is part of what makes this tip so useful. You do not necessarily need to buy a separate collagen product. You can begin with bones and connective pieces left from food you were already going to eat. Here is one simple way to do it. Start with the frame of a cooked chicken, or use raw chicken backs, necks, wingtips, and feet from a trusted source. Chicken feet are especially rich in connective tissue, although they must be cleaned and prepared properly. Place everything in a large stock pot or slow cooker. Add an onion, a few carrots, celery, garlic, or whatever simple vegetables you normally use for broth. The vegetables are not required for gelatin, but they contribute flavor and additional nutrients. Cover the ingredients with water. Do not drown them under an enormous amount of liquid. Too much water produces a weak broth. You can always dilute a concentrated broth later. Some cooks add a small amount of vinegar. Acid can change extraction, but you do not need to turn the broth sharply sour. The more important factors are using collagen-rich pieces, enough water to cover them, and sufficient cooking time. Bring the pot up to a safe cooking temperature, then let it cook gently. A slow cooker is convenient because it can maintain steady heat without constant attention. Depending on the ingredients and method, poultry broth may cook for several hours, while larger beef bones often take longer. The goal is not a violent boil that throws grease around the kitchen. A steady simmer is enough. When the broth tastes rich and the connective tissue has softened, strain it carefully. Remove every small bone, especially if children will be eating the finished dish. Then cool the broth safely. Do not leave a large, steaming pot sitting at room temperature for half the day. Divide it into shallow containers so it cools more quickly, and refrigerate or freeze it promptly. After chilling, you may see a layer of fat on top and gelatinized broth underneath. The fat can be removed or saved for cooking, depending on your preference. The broth below may wobble like soft jelly. Once reheated, it becomes liquid again. You can drink a small mug of it, but that is not the only way to use it. In fact, treating broth as an everyday cooking ingredient is probably easier than forcing yourself to drink the same cup every morning. Use it as the base for chicken soup. Add it to beans, lentils, gravies, stews, rice, or vegetables. Replace some of the water in savory recipes with broth. Reduce it into a concentrated stock and freeze it in small portions. This is how a traditional practice becomes sustainable. It does not feel like taking medicine. It simply becomes part of normal meals. And there is another advantage. The broth encourages you to eat a more complete diet around it. A bowl of broth alone is not a balanced meal. Add vegetables for vitamin C and other micronutrients. Add meat, beans, eggs, or another complete protein source. Include enough calories and healthy fats for your individual needs. Vitamin C deserves special attention because your body requires it during collagen synthesis. You can obtain it from foods such as peppers, cabbage, broccoli, berries, citrus fruit, tomatoes, and potatoes. This creates a much more sensible plate than simply adding collagen powder to a diet otherwise built around highly processed food. Now let us talk honestly about hair. Hair is made primarily from keratin, not collagen. Eating broth cannot guarantee thicker hair, reverse genetic hair loss, or correct a medical condition. Hair shedding can be associated with many different issues, including genetics, hormonal changes, illness, severe stress, thyroid conditions, iron deficiency, or inadequate calorie and protein intake. If hair loss is sudden, severe, patchy, or persistent, broth is not a substitute for a qualified medical evaluation. What a nourishing diet can do is provide the raw materials your body needs to maintain normal tissue. Adequate protein matters. Iron, zinc, vitamin D, and other nutrients may matter when a true deficiency exists. Collagen-rich food can be one useful part of that larger nutritional foundation, but it is not the entire foundation. The same honesty is needed when discussing nails. Brittle nails may sometimes improve when overall nutrition improves, but nails are affected by repeated water exposure, cleaning chemicals, trauma, skin conditions, aging, and health problems. A gelatin-rich soup cannot protect your hands from harsh detergent or repair every possible cause of splitting nails. And when it comes to skin, nutrition works alongside sleep, hydration, sun protection, and avoiding tobacco. No broth can cancel years of intense ultraviolet exposure. If healthier-looking skin is your goal, regularly using appropriate sun protection is likely to matter far more than chasing any single so-called superfood. So why is this tip still worth considering? Because it is practical, affordable, and nutritionally reasonable. It turns leftovers into food. It can reduce waste. It provides protein and collagen-derived amino acids. It improves the flavor of inexpensive meals. It can replace costly cartons of stock, and it does not require joining a subscription program program or buying a product covered in beauty claims. It also teaches an important principle that traditional Amish life often represents. Value does not always come from purchasing something new. Sometimes it comes from using what you already have more carefully. There are a few cautions to remember. If you have a medical condition requiring limits on protein, sodium, purines, or certain minerals, ask your healthcare professional whether concentrated broth fits your diet. Store-bought broth can contain a surprising amount of sodium, so read the label if you are not making it yourself. People with food allergies must choose ingredients carefully. Anyone who is pregnant, immunocompromised, elderly, or serving broth to young children should be particularly careful about food handling and storage. Homemade broth should smell fresh and savory, not questionable. When in doubt, throw it out. Saving a few dollars is never worth risking food poisoning. You also do not need to consume huge amounts. More is not automatically better. A cup used in soup or cooking can contribute to your diet without turning every meal into a collagen experiment. Consistency matters more than excess. Traditional diets worked through repeated habits. Cooking at home, eating a variety of foods, using seasonal produce, wasting less, and preparing simple meals again and again. That is the real lesson behind this Amish-inspired collagen tip. The beauty of this method is that it turns patience, thrift, and ordinary ingredients into useful food. It is not that one bowl of broth will suddenly erase wrinkles, stop hair loss, and produce perfect nails. It is that old-fashioned, whole food cooking can provide nutrients modern convenience diets sometimes leave behind. Instead of buying only boneless cuts, use the whole chicken. Save the frame, simmer the joints and skin. Add vegetables rich in vitamin C. Turn the broth into several meals. Freeze what you cannot use immediately. That single routine can stretch your grocery budget, reduce food waste, and add gelatin-rich food to your diet without an expensive beauty supplement. And perhaps that is why this practice has endured. It does several useful things at once. It feeds the family, it respects the animal, it saves money, it makes other foods taste better, and it supplies the body with building blocks that belong in a well-rounded diet. So the next time you finish a roast chicken, do not be too quick to throw the frame away. That pile of bones, skin, and connective tissue may look like kitchen waste, but with water, gentle heat, and time, it can become one of the richest ingredients in the house. Not a miracle potion, not a guaranteed cure, just a sensible traditional food that may support healthy skin and contribute to the nutrition your hair and nails need. If you found this useful, tell me in the comments whether your family made broth from scratch and what ingredients they used. And if you want more practical Amish-inspired ideas for saving money, reducing waste, and living more simply, subscribe and join me in the next video.